What do steroids really do to your body?
At some point, most of us have had to take steroids for an illness or maybe some other problem, or maybe we've even had to be injected because of pain. But do steroids really make you gain weight?
As a health coach and a wellness coach, we ask the questions so you get the answers. So let's get started as we ask.
Wait, what?
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. This is a fun topic. I didn't think it would be.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I would be. I thought it would be too sciencey and I wouldn't understand it.
Well, that's where I am. It's too sciencey for me, so maybe you'll make it more interesting.
Well, I don't know if I can do that. But I really learned a lot, is what I mean by fun. I mean, I learned a ton. So we're talking about steroids today, and we'll see what we learn, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so I'm pretty sure I don't need to do an update on my call to action because we did that episode with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you?
Are you still doing the intermittent fasting?
The only thing, I am still doing it, and now I found a section in the app that you hit when you're done eating, and then it does a timer for you, and it just tells you when you can eat. I love it. It's been great.
You're talking about the Lose It app.
Yes. So I'm going to post about it because it's really very helpful, in my opinion. Because I
have that. I never use it.
I never used it either. But now, when I'm done eating, I hit the button, and then it tells me when I can eat the next day. So
mine was also to do intermittent fasting. I got a big fat F. I've been trying to do it. Some days I'm good at it. Some days I'm not.
Well, I mean, if you're trying, I have a hair, sorry. If you're trying, that isn't an F.
What I mean is, like, I did it one day. I was done at 5:30, and then the next morning I was starving, so I ate at 9:30. I think just need to give my body time to get used to it, but I'm not patient enough, and really, like what you were saying about not really understanding hunger anymore. I was ravenous. I'm like, I just need to eat something. I have to eat something.
If you're not prepared while you're doing intermittent fasting, it's not going to work. It's
right.
Terrible. It's actually, it's not good at all, in my opinion, for you even. Because mentally it messes with you too. You're like, God, I know I shouldn't be eating everything in sight, but I'm starving.
That's true. That's actually probably one of the biggest, hardest parts for me. Because I'm like, I know I shouldn't be, but I should be. But then it's like this weird guilt and shame and...
It's definitely not easy to do, by the way. I want to just point that out. It's not. But I do feel better on it. But I also would like to tell everybody that I went back to my apple cider vinegar. So
every day?
I now put 1.5 teaspoons in my water every morning.
Okay. Every morning. You switched it up.
I switched it up. So, and I really, truly believe it's life-changing for me. I don't know about my blood sugar. I don't know about, like, cholesterol or any of that. I just know that I feel cleaner when I do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And
I'm really surprised you went back to it. You like it?
I can't wait to get it now. I can't wait. Like, I actually would drink it right now if I actually might. Who knows? I actually could drink it right now.
So you've gotten used to the taste?
Yeah. Now, one of our wonderful call to action members told me that 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, okay, if I can do 1.5 teaspoons, I'm almost to 3 to 3. So I'm starting with that, and then maybe I'll do it twice a day next week or something. But 1.5 teaspoons seems to be working for me right now.
Do you feel any like less bloated or,
yes.
or maybe?
Yes, I feel less bloated. I don't feel like I look pregnant. I feel cleaner. This is gonna sound so stupid. I feel like my skin's got better. Could that be?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Skin.
Even my heels.
What do you mean? Oh, they're less crackly and dry?
Yes.
Is that what you
mean?
mean?
You know how your heels, maybe it's just me, but my heels look like gross.
Like
they're
you
like all
were
cracked and
driving
dry.
You were driving the Flintstone car?
Yes. And I was literally just 2 days ago, I was like, oh my God, my heels look better. Could that be from that? I don't know what else it could be from. There's no dry skin on my feet at all. None. And I don't put lotion on my feet.
Wow.
Could it be that?
Just out of pure vanity, I would try it for that. Isn't that
so
weird?
It's so weird.
Huh.
Anyway, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's something different that I'm doing, but it's amazing.
Wow, I'm so impressed with this. I'm
Weird.
so impressed you went back to it because I know you're like...
Loved it. I love it. I don't know why. I just do. So All right. So those are my updates.
All right. Well, good. Do you have your thing that you love?
I have something I love today. Okay, so I was been looking for a new pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced that a lot of like my neck pain and my head pain and headaches and jaw pain is from my pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking into getting a cervical neck pillow. Have you ever seen those?
I
Okay,
don't know.
so full disclosure, I was like doing a lot of research on TMJ and
Mm-hmm.
like what kind of pillow to get for TMJ, and it said a cervical neck pillow. So then I went down a rabbit hole. This has been for about a month now. A rabbit hole of cervical neck pillows and what are they and what do they do? I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. It's weird. It's got like all of these. How would you describe this, Kamna?
Holes and indentations and
Yeah.
cutouts. Yeah.
If you just Google cervical neck pillow, you'll see what I'm talking about. But they're not cheap.
No,
No, well, to me, they're not cheap. They're like $40 for a pillow. And I'm like,
that's a lot.
I'm not spending $40 on a pillow. What if I hate this? All of those things. So I went on that app that people, it's like trending now, the OLA. I think that's what it's called, where you bid
I
on
don't know.
things.
Really?
So I got this pillow for $1.
No way.
I did, $1. I wanted, it's a cozy player bed pillow. That's the brand, which means it's a knockoff. Okay?
Okay.
But I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it. If I hate it, clearly I'm not going to buy another pillow. But if I like
Mhm.
it, I'll go, it might be worth it to ask for it for my birthday or Mother's Day or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It's a weird pillow.
Okay, sorry. It looks like a little bit of a star with a hole in it. And
I
where
know.
do you sleep?
Okay, I put a pillowcase on it, obviously. And there's like all these different sides of it. And I've tried all the sides. And I put my head right here. And this then
Okay.
supports my neck. And I love it. I'm not going to,
So,
you guys.
what's happened to your neck pain and your jaw pain
Okay.
and all of that?
So, first of all, let me tell you that when you first put your head on it, you're like, this is the most uncomfortable damn thing I've ever put my head on. It's almost like hard. But then you like go, oh, but my neck isn't like floundering around and it's
Right.
supported and my whole head feels like in like a cocoon, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? And I'm a side
Yeah.
sleeper, by the way, so I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
a difference. And I think I sleep better. I don't wake up in the middle of the night. I'm not waking up like rubbing my jaw. Now my jaw still hurts, but nowhere near as bad. I love it.
Wow, you've made some good changes this
I
past
love
month.
this pillow so much.
Oh my gosh.
For $1? What the heck?
So what is the pillow? Is that a brand
It's
name
a
or?
cervical neck pillow, but this brand is called Cozy Player. I don't know, all one word. Definitely generic knockoff brand.
And so you bought it from that website Ola?
OLA, I believe that's, or OLG. I don't remember, but it's like that warehouse bidding app, and you bid on things, and then you go pick it up.
Okay.
Well, I got it for $1.
That's incredible. I can't get over that.
I know. Anyway, so if you've been looking into cervical neck pillows for neck pain or jaw pain or sleep, to me it's been a change. But you got to know it's hard. It's a hard pillow.
So when you rotate your body, does it like bother you or do you not notice?
I don't even know if I rotate.
Oh.
I'm that sound asleep.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I am that sound asleep with this pillow.
That's pretty cool.
And I was always a very squishy pillow person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I sleep with Squishmallows, you know, those kids' toys.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I'd ever be able to do this. And I love it. So.
That's awesome because I know you were looking for one. I didn't know you found one.
It's cervical neck pillow.
Very
I have
nice.
no idea what cervical neck means, but I bought the pillow.
I think cervical has to do with your spine.
Okay. Anyway.
And then obviously that part.
Look it up.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
very
going
cool.
to.
All right.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. So, have you ever had to take steroids?
Yes, I've had to many times in my life, but I will tell you guys. So, what was it? Like September, October of last year, I started a steroid course for my toe. Remember, I thought I had gout?
Yeah.
And I was on oral steroids for that, a lot of them. And then it went away, and then it came back, my gout, and then I got an injection of steroids in the toe. Same thing, went away, came back. Then, for whatever reason, that went away, and then I started month-long steroids for my... I get cluster headaches, which are not quite migraines. They're just a different family altogether. So almost all of December, January, I was on a steroid.
Okay. Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, off and on. But it wasn't like there was a whole month up pretty much straight. And I was getting those injections in my scalp
And those
for
were
it.
steroids?
Those, I think there was some type of steroid in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been on them a lot this past 6 months. Or no, what was that be? 8 months ago? 10 months ago now?
So you had oral and injections?
Yep. Yep. How about you?
I probably have had oral ones. I just can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had several injections. So I have keloids, which are scar tissue that overgrows and it's very painful. And so I've had steroid injections for that. And it burns when it goes in and it's actually kind of painful, but it helps reduce the skin, the scarring. And I've also had an injection in my elbow, I guess, my arm area for like a tennis elbow.
Recently?
This is probably a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I think at this point I may need one in my heel because my heel pain is so bad, but I'm trying to avoid it because they're not fun. They're not, I think they're painful. I know some people are tough and rough and I find them.
Oh my God, it hurt my toe so bad it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. I don't even know if the pain outweighs it. It was that bad. Ugh.
I'm trying to avoid getting a shot, but the foot pain is so bad I may need one. I don't know. I'm just trying to avoid it. But it did help my elbow. I didn't have to go back. And then I started working out and doing things. But I don't know, man.
Well, it's one of those drugs. I found a great quote. Somebody said that it's a horrible miracle drug. And I thought it was such a great description of it because you almost don't want to take it sometimes because you know the side effects. But then you feel so good when you take it that you're like, why can't I always take this to get rid of the pain? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My husband says when you're taking steroids, he's a physician. He says when you're taking steroids, he said mostly everybody feels great.
But there are so many catches to it that I didn't know.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like prednisone, cortisone, hydrocortisone, that kind of stories. We're not talking about the kinds that jack you up. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't even know.
I don't know if it's the same. Is it?
I have no idea. I didn't look that up, so I don't know.
Okay.
And steroids reduce inflammation. It can cause, if you have an inflammatory condition such as arthritis, asthma, and skin rashes, it helps with that. Mm-hmm. It does suppress the immune system where the body might mistakenly attack its own tissue. So if you have something like Hashimoto's, that attacks your own tissue, it might like calm it down so that it won't do damage. It can also treat rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, asthma, allergies, and other conditions. It prevents organ rejection in transplant patients.
Yes, I read that too. It's the 22 most prescribed drug in the United States of America, which you think isn't that high, but when you think about all the drugs there are, that's pretty high up there, right? And I learned all of that stuff that same as you said, like it literally is treated for so many things. Yeah. It affects nearly every part of the body once you take it. And it either helps it or hurts it.
Oh,
so
what do you mean?
It might be helping one part, but it's going to be hurting another part. So it's one of those where you got to outweigh the risks and the benefits of it.
Okay.
So it's really one of those that I learned a lot about. Like I know people say don't take it or whatever side you're on. But the most interesting thing is if you're taking it for something, it is going to do something to another part of your body that it wasn't intended for.
Because it's systemic. If it's oral.
Right.
If it's an injection, maybe not so much.
Well, it's also not one of those drugs that targets. Like it doesn't know to go for just the inflammation.
Right.
So it like scatters. Do you know what I mean? And like you take it and it goes, where do I need to go? And then it just goes wherever it freaking wants to go. You know what I mean? It doesn't know to go just for specific things.
No, you're right. So I found out that I knew that you could take it orally like a tablet and that you could get injected. I did not know, and I don't know why I didn't know this. I mean, it's so common sense that you could take it as an inhaler. Obviously, if you have asthma, whatever. You can take it in eye drop form.
Okay, I can see that. If you have an eye infection or something, bad allergies, Okay.
And I've had that too, now that I come to think about it. I had this thing where my eyes were itching and swollen, and I think it was seasonal allergies. I don't actually know, but the doctor prescribed the drops, and it just felt so good. I was like, this is
It
a
is.
miracle.
It's one of those miracles. My daughter had poison ivy once so bad. I mean, it was head to toe covered. It was in her ears. It was in her. It was everywhere. And the steroids were like a miracle.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh God, it was just unbelievable the amount of like how quickly it works, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that it makes me think about is, yes, you need it sometimes. Like if your daughter had poison ivy,
Right,
that's serious. And if other people have other serious issues, or if you have pain that you cannot get rid of from physical therapy or exercise or whatever. But there are side effects.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a innocent kind of drug.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is a little like...
Okay, so everybody always says, oh my God, I gained so much weight when I'm on it.
Yeah.
And did you think there was truth to that, or what side of the camp were you on?
Okay, so I have read all the stuff that says no. If you have a short course or if you have one injection, then no. But I believe that last year I had 4 rounds of steroids injected into me. I think it did cause me to gain weight because I had no other change in my life. I believe it did.
Okay,
and
so what I think is, it, when they say it doesn't cause gain, it doesn't cause quote unquote fat gain.
Right.
But it causes gain.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And I think that's the just misconception is like, no, you can't, it's not going to cause you to gain weight. No, fat it's not. But it's going to cause that scale to go up. Don't tell me it's not.
Right.
And the number one thing I read was, one, is it boosts your appetite, which we know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also retain, I did not know this, excessive levels of fluid when you take it. Studies show that key chemicals of prednisone may redistribute body fat to organs like the neck, the stomach, and the face. Have you ever seen those people with that hump neck?
Oh, yeah.
That's from too much prednisone.
No.
Yes, I did not know that.
I don't know. I didn't know that
in
either.
their life, they've had so much of it that that's where their fat was redistributed.
Oh, wow.
I was blown away by that. And go ahead.
Is that what they call like moon face when you're...
No, moon face? Well, yeah, because the fat is distributed there. Fat is deposited in the cheeks and the neck, and this is something called moon face, which I have solid proof that I had moon face. I showed you this picture. It's crazy how round your face can be when you're on prednisone.
Wow.
It's like you look like a moon. It looks like a moon.
Well, the good thing is you went back to normal after you stopped all of that.
Well, I think I'm still going back to normal. I don't think it's still back down.
Really?
I think, so I Googled that too, and some people take several months to get it all out of their system.
Really?
Yeah. And if you're on it for like 5 days, like one of those like Z-Packs, I don't think that's going to take you several months. But when you're on
Z-Pack is an antibiotic.
Okay, then I don't know what I'm talking about. The one that it's a taper down, it's like 10 days.
The prednisone.
Yes, that one. That taper down one. I think that when you're on something like that, then maybe it'll go down like quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on it for a long period of time, I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what else did you find about gaining weight?
Okay, so, I found out a lot about side effects, which I think then cause weight gain, because if you have side effects and you're dealing with that, then you're not,
Good point.
If it's taken by the mouth orally, it can infect the entire body, which you were talking about before. Buildup of fluid causing swelling in your lower legs.
That's from
cause
level of fluid retention then.
It can cause high blood pressure.
Okay.
It can cause mood swings, memory behavior. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what I wrote.
Well,
behavior.
Yeah.
Confusion and delirium. I'm not on it right now, I swear. It can cause an upset stomach and weight gain in the belly, face, and back of the neck, which is what you were talking about. So that's if you take it orally because it affects you systemically. Mm-hmm. Now, if you take it long term, this was a little scary to me, honestly.
Know it is.
If you take it long term, you can have problems with your eyes, such as glaucoma and cataracts.
Mm-hmm.
Moon face, we talked about. You can have high blood sugar trigger, which I think is interesting because if you don't know that it can cause your blood sugar to go up, or if you're diabetic and you don't realize that it could cause you higher readings of your blood sugar,
right?
I think it's important to know. Increased risk of infections because it lowers your immunity. Bone fractures or thinning bones. So they say that You should talk to your doctor about taking vitamin D or calcium if you're on long-term prednisone to strengthen your bones. It can cause fatigue, loss of appetite, thin skin, bruising, and slower wound healing.
Isn't it crazy all the side? This is why that quote makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible miracle drug because it does so good, but it also does that bad too.
Yeah, yeah. That I had it injected in a spot in my skin, and then she injected it twice, and she goes, "We can't do anymore because my skin was becoming really thin." She goes, "We're just going to have an open wound if we do any more."
Oh my God.
So she was like, "No, no more."
I did not know
Okay.
it causes your skin. Oh, that's why you can't. Oh, that makes so much sense now. When you use like the prescription strength cortisone cream, you're not supposed to use it on your face. That would make sense to me now. Like, because you don't want your skin on your face thinning at all because,
Right.
for obvious reasons. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
If it's inhaled, so if you have like asthma or something like that, you can have fungal infection in the mouth, oral thrush, hoarseness, I'm sure other things too. If it's topical, so it's on the skin, you can develop thin skin lesions, and acne.
Oh, I didn't know about the acne though.
Yeah. And our favorite, if it's injected, it can cause skin thinning, loss of color in the skin, and intense pain. It can cause facial flushing, insomnia, and high blood sugar.
I read that too. Yeah, it's crazy. When my kids have always been off and on when they were little. They had horrible asthma, and whenever they would go on it, or my son was taking an inhaler for it, we always had to rinse his mouth out every single time he would use it.
Yes, yes, that's what they say. And you're supposed to rinse your mouth and spit it out. You're not supposed to swallow it.
Right. So I mean,
my gosh.
luckily we outgrew that, but that was a long period of time when we would be taking those inhaled steroids. That help.
And
they help.
Oh, they really help. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we're talking about this is just to be aware, because if you have diabetes or if you have gut issues or if you have, I don't know, problems, I think knowledge is power. So if I had known that I would gain weight, I might have been more careful. I might have changed something so that I wouldn't have sustained the weight gain. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I would have paid attention a little better.
So you're immediately supposed to eat less sodium and processed foods when you take a steroid, which they should literally say that on the package, and they don't.
They should.
It should say limit sodium and processed foods. They say limit sun exposure. They say no grapefruit. Like, why can't they say that for a steroid?
Yeah. Or maybe they do and we just haven't read it. I don't know.
So I don't think, I mean, maybe in the fine print, but not like the other, not like right on it. So here's some of the other facts about it. There's 9 nutrients that are depleted when you take it.
Oh, really?
Which is really interesting because, like, it's important that you have all of these nutrients in your body to balance out your chemistry. So it lowers your potassium. It depletes your, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say lowers. It depletes your potassium.
Okay.
It depletes your vitamin A and C.
Oh.
It depletes your zinc and selenium, which I don't know what selenium does. It depletes your calcium.
That's for your thyroid.
Okay.
It's good.
It depletes your calcium, vitamin, and vitamin D, your chromium, your magnesium, your folic acid, and your vitamin B. It depletes those when you take it. So you really need to be careful when you take it that you're getting the nutrients you need from the foods and or you take a supplement to supplement that.
Right. I wish more people knew about it before they took it. If the doctor or whoever said, here's what you need to do, be aware of this, because it does help. It does make you feel better. I don't have any more elbow pain, and I'm grateful for that. My scars are reduced. I'm grateful for that, but I wish I would have known some of this stuff before.
It also depletes melatonin. Did you know that?
Well, that's the skin lightening, right?
That's
melanin. Oh,
yeah, sorry.
I'm confused.
Melatonin which is why it causes insomnia.
Yeah, that makes sense because I was reading that it also causes your cortisol to go up because the prednisone looks like a stress hormone to the brain, so it acts. That's why we gain weight. It stimulates appetite, whatever, and yeah, it acts like cortisol. So then the melatonin goes down. I don't know why I got confused for a minute.
I just want to say though, like, I don't want anybody to think that we're anti-prednisone with this podcast because I'm definitely not. I'm just about like learning about it and going, okay, if I need it again, which I will take it again if I need it again. Like the pain I had in my toe was that bad that I was in a boot for it. I would take it again in a second to relieve that pain. The cluster headaches I get, so debilitating that I would take it again in a second.
Yeah.
But going into this topic, searching it, I was like, oh my gosh, I will definitely not be salting my foods. I will definitely not eat
Right.
potato chips while I'm doing it. I will
Right.
definitely get vitamin C and, maybe take magnesium more regularly, or looking at other things like that. Like, really looking at the stuff it depletes, and definitely
Yes.
taking melatonin at night before bed. Like, there are some little things there that I think the purpose of this episode is to make us all aware that we hope you never need it, but there are some of us that will need it.
Yeah. And I think there is a connection to maybe not necessarily weight gain, but how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are like, well, I don't know, something's wrong, I can't sleep, I have nausea, I have heartburn, nothing's different, it may be because of the steroids.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. So I think knowledge is power. And the more we know, the better we can do.
And think about this. The more you know, the more you can also let other people know. Like, I can't tell you how many times people would be like, oh, you're on a steroid, you're going to gain weight. But nobody told me why or what to do about it.
Right.
They just have always said, you're going to gain weight, or you're going to get crabby, or you're going to get hungry. They've never said, okay, well, here's what you need to do about that. You know?
Or that you should maybe cut down the caffeine, because caffeine can make the side effects worse.
I did not. Why? I didn't
It can
know that.
increase insomnia. It can increase heartburn. It can potentially increase your blood pressure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you're not going to have an energy drink if you're taking prednisone. It wouldn't be
No.
It wouldn't be the wisest thing for you to do. Like, there are things to watch.
Yes.
Right?
And this is a medication that most people will end up on at some point in some form.
Mm-hmm. It's also horrible for your bones. Like, horrible for your bones. I don't even know the science of it. I tried to understand it. All I know is it's not good for your bones. And I was like, okay, well then I just need to eat more ice cream when I'm on prednisone. That was my takeaway from it. I need the milk, the calcium. But it's just like taking a supplement and those type of things.
There's something that's going to make you mad.
Oh, God.
You ready for this?
I'm not allowed to have ice cream?
No.
Okay.
Well, that I don't know. That's up to you. Women tend to gain more weight than men because of hormonal differences related to leptin and insulin.
Of course, women gain more. Of course.
So our hormones make us more susceptible to gaining weight from being on prednisone or whatever steroid.
Of course. Of course. You know what? I do want to say, though, I think that doctors are more careful about giving it out now.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think that they're very, like, I don't think back years ago they were. I think that was like one of those miracle drugs that they gave to everybody, and they really weren't paying attention to all these side effects. But I know for my headaches, when I got them in November, December, I was on the steroids, and they said, you will not be able to take these again. I think it was 6 months. It might have even been a year. I just, knock on wood, I'm lucky it put me into remission. But, like, they're very strict on it now. They said, no, you're not going to be able to get these again. So we have a plan B and a plan C, but it can't be, because I felt so good on the steroids, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just take those again. Honest to God, that's my thought. Like, honestly, when you are needed and you're in that much pain, you don't care about the side effects.
Right.
You just don't.
Right.
So I was like, I would do this again. Whatever. I'll double up on whatever I need to, but they definitely are watching it more. At least the doctors that I have seen, and for what I've seen it for, they're being more careful.
That's good. That's good to know.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, wow, we're jinxing. We're right on target with that one. All right, so here's another thing I want to tell you guys. There's right ways to take it.
Okay.
Do you want to know the right ways to take it?
Well,
There's
obviously.
3 right ways to take it. So you said it mimics cortisol, which is true, which is cortisol is naturally secreted first thing in the morning. Did you know that? Your cortisol is secreted first thing in the morning. It also causes the effects of insomnia, which we just talked about. So prednisone is so important to take first thing in the morning.
With breakfast.
And you shouldn't be like waiting until breakfast at 9 o'clock. It literally should be first thing in the morning. And that's
so you don't need it with food?
Well, that's what I have always done wrong. I've always been like, oh, well, I'm not going to eat breakfast till 9:30, 10 o'clock. The most important thing about it is you take it immediately when you wake up. The one study and statistic said if you could and it was doable, you should actually take it a half hour before you wake up. That's how important it is. But obviously that's not doable because you can't take it in your sleep. But that was to stress the point of how important it is to take it first thing in the morning. Recent research suggests you don't need to take it with food. However, some people might need to if they have stomach problems.
Okay.
right? But if you do take it with food, it does cause an unnecessary delay and it doesn't improve the absorption of it. It's just
Oh,
protecting your stomach liner.
interesting.
So it's one of those things where, like, that's a personal preference,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost sounds like it's more important to take it right when you wake up than it is to, like, eat it with food.
Yeah,
But some
that
people
makes
really
sense.
need it with food because their stomach,
Sure.
it would hurt them. So I think that's
Right.
a preference, right? Also, they say you should have small meals when you're on it. Did you know that? I did not know that.
I just read that.
You should not be eating 3 large meals when you're on it. It should be small meals throughout the day. I don't
I
understand
wonder.
why that would be.
Yeah, I don't know either.
The only thing I could think of is maybe it retains the fluid longer, and maybe you have time to get it all out of your system if you have a little bit. I don't know what it would be.
I guess my theory, and I have no science behind this, is
Right.
that if it makes you hungrier and you're eating smaller meals,
Oh,
maybe
that
you're
makes
eating
sense.
total number of calories are the same, but you're sort of feeding that monster.
That makes sense. Don't you think that makes sense?
That's my theory, but I don't have any
I should have looked
science.
that up and I didn't. And the last thing that I read about how to take it the right way is do not suddenly stop it. It's very
Yes.
bad. Meaning prednisone stops the natural production of cortisol in your body. And if you stop taking it, your body may not produce enough cortisol on its own. And it's not, your body's like, what the hell am I doing? Where do I get this cortisol from? I can't make it fast enough.
Right.
So there are taper charts, and you can ask your pharmacist for a taper chart if your doctor did not provide you one, or if you're like, this is not going well, I don't want to take it anymore. I mean, I'm not going to lie, there are some people that don't want to go to the doctor and talk to a doctor if they don't like something. Maybe your
Yeah.
doctor is for it and you don't. So just make sure that you're asking a pharmacist or something for some kind of taper chart so that you
Right.
don't just stop it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I read something and it was
Okay.
actually a little bit annoying to me.
More
Some
than
of the things,
the men gain weight less than we do.
well, yes and no. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm trying to see if you take prednisone or any steroid, fill in the blank. I'm not picking on prednisone alone. But if you take this steroid and you
Okay.
gain the weight, what are you supposed to do or how are you supposed to prevent the weight gain is what I was really trying to figure out.
Okay.
And the suggestions, we've talked about a few, like don't
Stupid.
add extra salt. Well, not stupid, but like I kind of know all this stuff. Give me something useful.
Right.
You know? So I'm just going to read this list to you and you can decide what you think is, if it's as
Okay.
duh as I thought it was.
Okay.
Eat healthy and stay active.
Okay. Well, that's what you should do anyway, right?
Right.
I mean, if you take an allergy pill, that's what you should do. So go on.
Reduce your sodium intake and drink more water.
Okay. Duh.
Choose healthy protein, fiber, rich carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables.
So this is just the generic list that they make for
Yes.
everything. It's generic. There's
6
not.
smaller meals, and then the last one is ramp up your activity.
I really. Okay, so I get all of those. They all make sense. I really am intrigued by the 6 smaller meals because you found that information. I found that information. It was repeated in a lot of things for me too. I wonder what that's all about. But you're right. That list makes you mad because it's like, well, yeah, I know how to do all of those things. I wanted you to tell me to eat watermelon and it would reverse the weight gain part. Like I wanted something for you to tell me to do. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And there's
yeah,
not.
something specific, yeah.
But there's just not.
But I think what we're both saying is if we have this knowledge and we have to do the steroids again, which will probably happen in our lifetime, okay, well, we'll know, don't eat the potato chips. And we'll know, eat 6 smaller meals. And we'll know, drink more water. And take it first thing in the morning. So we'll know some of those things to mitigate the side effects. And that's the point, because this is a medication that most people will have to have at some point.
I'm going to add a couple other things I will know to do. First thing I will do is I will flat out use my jade roller more on my face because I clearly get moon face. It's one of my things that I get when I edit. I have the pictures to prove it. So I would use that more regularly, like just kind of getting all the puffiness away. I would also decide if it's something that is like knowing that you shouldn't take it a lot, like maybe twice a year, like really going like, okay, can I push this off for a little bit long? I would be more picky about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I'm not telling anybody to be picky about it, but to me, it's like, obviously if I have, what do you call it? Like poison ivy all over my face or something like that, I might, but if it's, I don't know, my shoulder or my finger or something like that, I might go, is it really worth me going on steroids for when I might need it for something different in another month or two? Am I making sense with that?
Yes, because I'm thinking the same thing. If I'm supposed to go back every 6 weeks for these steroid shots for my scars, And I have been putting it off because it's so painful. And probably it's working to my advantage in some way. Maybe not for my scars, but at least it's like helping me not have the side effects.
So what do you think you'll do?
I mean, I still have to go back and get it because I still have pain.
Okay.
But it works. You know, that's the thing. It really worked.
Yeah. Could you push it off to 8 weeks?
Well, it's been a little bit more than that.
Okay, so that's exactly what I mean, though. Like, it's like, okay, so if you are supposed to get it so often for, right, like chronic, we'll call it chronic pain. I don't know if it is. Then maybe it's like, okay, maybe I can go 7 weeks, or maybe I can go 8, or maybe I can even go 9. We don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you have to just be your own, I don't want to say doctor, but your own detective on your body.
Sure.
And say, what do I need? What will work best for me? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because everybody's body is different. Some people may not have a problem at all, and other people, like me, might have other problems.
Right, right.
So, yeah.
The other thing that I saw was they really use it as an analogy of when it depletes these nutrients in your body. Think of it as it's a bank account. Like literally, you put money in, which is your prednisone, but it takes out everything else, and you're spending it in all of those nutrients. All of your nutrients are just gone. So you put it in, and then it depletes everything else. Just like
What a good analogy. It's like a big expense for your home, and then you're like, wait, I have to take it out of other budgeting items.
Yes, exactly. Exactly what it's like. So the analogy was like, make sure that you're putting in those other things to offset that cost. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was like, oh gosh, it's really important to make sure you're on a multivitamin or you're doing what you need to do. But it's interesting.
It definitely is, especially because people, I don't know, I'm sounding repetitive. People just need to know.
Yeah. That's all we can ask you guys to listen to this week.
Yeah.
It's just,
and that there are healthy things that you can do, you know, to mitigate the side effects. So
yeah.
And not sustain the weight gain, which is ultimately, we all care about that.
True. For sure. That's why we're here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad I don't have a fat face anymore. I know it's now moon face. It's got a name. To me, it's better to call it moon face than, oh, my face is so fat.
Or so round, or
it's moon
puffy,
face.
or
moon face. I mean, I look at even episodes of our podcast when I was on it, and I was like, oh my God, look at how round my face is.
Yeah.
Nobody else noticed, but I mean, they might have, but they're being nice. But I was like, God, I can just tell. You can just see it in yourself.
Yes.
So there's a reason for things. You just have to do the research on it.
Absolutely. And we did part of it. So.
Yes, we did. So I'm glad that we did this topic because I really did learn a lot.
I did too.
Well, good.
Okay.
Oh, call to action time. Oh my God, I was almost like trying to get off without making a call to action. I don't know if I have. All right, what's yours?
So I posted on my social media that I am taking accountability for myself this month. I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and feeling sorry for myself. So I'm trying to do all the things. And one of the things, which I actually find so difficult, is hitting 10,000 steps every day.
Okay.
Yesterday, I was on the treadmill for an hour and a half because it was raining. I couldn't walk outside. I'd love to walk outside. I kept looking at my watch. Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? And finally, I hit like 9,000. I'm like, I can get 1,000 the rest of the day somehow. But it's actually very difficult and challenging, but it makes me feel very accomplished when I see that number.
Okay.
So some days it's so easy. Some days it's a breeze. You're like 15,000, no problem. And some days I'm like 3,000 is really like, I'm lucky I even got there.
Isn't it interesting how some days you can be like that? It's like some days you're like on fire and some days you're like, what the hell did I do today? Nothing? What? I don't understand it. Yeah.
Well, a lot of sitting. So then you don't get steps. And so I'm part of this challenge. And if you miss a day, you have to pay $1. Now, in the grand scheme of things.
Where did you get this challenge? I want to do it.
We can make our own. It's part of this group that I'm part of. Anyway, but I know $1 is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
How do you pay it? At the end of the month, you write a check?
There's a meeting, and then they're going to award a prize. And
oh my God, I think we should start thinking about this.
Okay.
Go on.
But I'm like, I don't want to pay the $1. I don't want to pay the $1.
No, I wouldn't either.
So I really want to get my steps.
I think this is a great idea.
So I'm going to try for every day this month. I've hit my target for today's May 4th.
Do you submit
recording?
results, or is it on our system?
You have to send a picture of your steps by the end of the day.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a great idea. Like right now, all right, I'm going to look at my watch right now. I'm at 7,840.
Oh, so you'll make it.
No, I don't. But I'm in my head, I'm going, I was planning on getting off of this recording and literally doing nothing. Like I was looking forward to that.
Okay, I'm at 2,500.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Are you going to pay $1?
I got to go take a walk. No,
Is
I'm
it
not
raining?
paying $1.
I don't even know if it's raining. I can't
Well,
even.
either I got to hit the outside or hit the treadmill. I got to do one of them.
Oh my God, I love this though. I really love this. Okay. Well, how about if you're listening to this podcast, somebody let us know if you think this is something that you would like us to do. Something similar. Yes. Obviously, we would tweak it a little. We also have our habit tracker, which is with our weigh-in group too, which that's focusing on habits you're trying to create.
Well, and the beauty of that, before you go on, is that you can create your own. So like if 10,000 steps is not for you, you want to do 5, you set your own targets, which I think is better.
So is your challenge everybody's 10,000 no matter what?
Everybody's 10,000.
Okay. Okay, and it's free to join. It's just if you don't, you have to pay $1.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
It's hard. It's very difficult. I didn't realize. I thought I was like, I don't get my steps.
I love it. I love this. Okay. All right. So you're going to let us know how you're doing on that.
Yes.
Okay.
And did you think of something?
Okay. Yes, I did. I'm going to continue with my intermittent fasting with the caveat of it being I'm going to start using the app with it and making sure I hit when I'm starting and see how I do with it.
I like it.
I want to really make that a habit and at least gets me in the app. So I think that'll be helpful too.
Have you been tracking?
Yeah, I have been. I have to backtrack for yesterday, but I have been tracking. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I think I eat less when I think I eat less.
I know if I'm doing timed eating, I definitely eat less because I told you my worst time is in the evening when I sit. I tend to eat a lot of empty calories. Yeah. And nothing of nutritional value. Yeah. And I think that's where I want to get rid of that eating. If I'm eating something, it should either be really good for me or really fun.
Good. That's it. Good.
Right?
Really healthy or really fun and worth it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat just to stuff my face. I know. I'm not doing it.
I know. And you know what it is? It's like when there's food in front of you, you're going to eat it, even no matter what time it is of the day. And you don't even, I did it last night and I didn't even think. I wasn't even thinking. It was just not conscious. And it wasn't anything horrible. It was like guacamole. But like it was there and I was eating it and I was like, when I got home, I was like, I didn't even know I did it.
Yeah.
So keeping track of that is going to be my goal, my call to action this week.
I really like it. I think it's a good one. Yeah. I think it's a really good one. And it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's especially, for me, it's especially not hard to not eat in the morning. So I'm working on it.
Good for you.
All right.
Well, all right. See you next week. You too.
Bye.
Bye.